Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This is going to be part 4 of the Bits and Bobs layout. And in this episode, we're going to be putting back all of our foam sections. I've already done some work to those so that they go in easier. I'll show you what I did. They've been glued together, they've been plastered, and then they've already been painted. So all we're going to need to do is work on is these white sections on the entrances of the tunnel. We're going to go ahead and paint them and put a little bit of ground cover in there so that we don't see the white. And then we're also going to do some scenery on the front section there by you guys, and do a brick retaining wall. We're going to do some rock detailing and some ground cover and some ground foliage, as well as maybe some weeds and some trees. We'll see. But we're going to start adding scenery to some sections that we're not going to really be able to get to, because really we need to finish the tunnel here for the vehicle, as well as a filler panel here to our second level, and then we can really get into the second level, laying track and getting some buildings installed, doing some wiring for street lights and so forth. So if this interests you, stick around. We'll be right back. Alright, so what we're going to do now is go and paint and fill this in. The paint I'm going to use, it's nothing special. It's called Model Color by Vallejo. And it's just a brown. And I'm just going to use a standard, what is that, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch wide brush. And we're going to go ahead and shake the paint up. And then we're going to just apply it. And we're only going to go so far into the tunnel, because there's no point in wasting the paint, the ground material, or the time for places that will never be seen. So I'm just trying to work this paint in. Now I'm not going really far out here, because my foam board is going to come in right up next to these poles, these catenary poles. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in here, go around the pole. That's looking okay. That's looking pretty good. A little bit more there. Now we're going to do the same for this side. So let me get a little bit more poured out here. That's looking good. That's looking more gooder. There we go. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is continue this process on with this corner and then the front corner there, which you can't see, it's right behind you, but we're going to get this all dialed in for the next step, where we're going to end up laying some ballast and a little bit of ground cover. You know, tunnels were never really maintained very well, from what I've seen. So we're just going to give it some realism going in and out. Alright, I'll catch you in a few minutes when I'm done with the other sections. See you in a few. I'm thinking about extending our ballast out a bit further. And again, this is Hobby Lobby. This is the fine stuff, not the medium. So it's going to be smaller. And I just want to put a little bit, my idea is to put a little bit of this down on top of the wet paint, and then we're going to glue down some clump foliage here and there in spots. Again, we don't need to go crazy here, but this is a good spot to see if our idea is going to work. So just, oh my goodness. Stomach's telling me it's time for lunch. It's looking. Come on now. Alright, now I'm going to take some of my diluted glue and just wet it down. It'll soak in there. Just work it around here. So now that we've got that taken care of, what I'm thinking is to use some underbrush, light green. Let me cut a corner off of this. See if we can't clump this up here and there. Just small bits here and there. It kind of looks too symmetrical. It might be okay. Just put some really small crumbles. Put some small crumbles in there. Just twist it between your fingers. And we'll hit that with a little bit more glue. All right. That is about what I was looking for. A little bit more here. Here. And I think that'll do it. So once again, I'm gonna continue on to the other side and then again in the front, and we'll do the same thing, and I'll meet you right back here. Oh, and I can't forget to vacuum off my little mess there. All right, and we are back. So, gave plenty of time for this to set up and dry. Now, we're gonna move on to the next phase, which is putting our corner blocks in. Now, like I said, I've already done some preliminary work here. I've glued the foam together, and then I used regular drywall compound, and it's like $8, $9 for, I think, it's a pretty heavy bucket, but you can find it in any home renovation place around you. It's just called drywall compound. And then I used a latex slate gray, and then came in with my weathering agents and went ahead and weathered some drips and stains, and then I did an overall wash on the entire section just to darken it up and blend it a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and install the 3 corners and then this whole center section here, okay? And what I'm gonna use to do that is some Quick Seal caulk by DAP. And I've got everything marked so I know which is top, which is bottom, right rear corner top. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this glue. I guess we'll cap this end up and use the end of the tube that it's squeezing out of. Sure. And that was pretty unforeseen. That noise you're hearing is my neighbor's garage door opener, so I apologize for that. Alright, let's squish that down good. Get it all up into the corners. That looks like it's gonna work. Looks like I need a little bit more here in the corner on this side. But let's go ahead and get the front corner done, and then I'll reposition you so you can see pretty much everything before we go ahead and glue in this part. Alright? I'll be right back. This is our inner tunnel wall for the back half. And we're going to go ahead and glue this down, and then we're going to move on to the front section here, which we're going to do some detailing and install a brick wall. We're going to weather some rocks. We're going to do some clump foliage. We're going to be doing a lot. So this should be good. I gotta watch how far this way I go, because here's where the tunnel is, and I want to use this black with a little bit of weathering to get my road. So this is looking good. Let me go ahead and get the piece. I'll do it from the other side, and I'll be right back. Alright. So you let me know how it looks on that side, okay? Because we gotta be pretty precise here. Bring it in. Bring it a little bit more. And now I've got our tunnel portholes all weathered and painted, so I'm going to stick this one in. And make sure that we're lined up good. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Now let me grab the other one and let's see how the other side is. Now, this one we could come a little closer. And then go ahead and key this one in. That way a little bit. Bring it back a little bit more. Let's make sure that this is good here. Move it in a skadooch. Oh, what are we hitting? We're hitting something. Either that or this moved. Wow, this stuff really starts grabbing right away. Oh, it's the tunnel porthole making all the creaky noises. This needs to get butted up to there. But overall, I think we're looking pretty good. I think we're looking pretty good. Alright, now the next time we come back, we're going to be doing something special, and I'll show you right now. I have 3D printed some brick retaining wall sections. I have glued 6 of them together, and this will go on the foam around the front edge, just like so. And then we'll have some rock outcroppings, which I've done with the drywall compound. I didn't use the bases, you know, the molds that Woodland Scenics carries. And all we have left to do with that is to weather it, do some staining on it, and then we're going to lay some grass and some ground clump foliage and probably some short trees coming up where I can with a little bit of gravel. So give me a moment and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back. The other parts are drying right now, so next up is we're going to go ahead and try and highlight everything we have here as far as our rocks. So we're going to start off with some Tamiya accent color. I have it in a brown, deep brown. And all I want to do is give the low spots some definition. So let's see. Let's see how this works. Just want to keep it from looking shiny new. Seeing what's going to work and what's not going to work. Usually I've used rock molds and things like that, and I got this harebrained idea that this may work. So we'll just see if it does or if it doesn't. If it doesn't work, we can always scrape it off, and I'll go get some rock molds and we can make it look better. So, like I said, you don't know unless you try. Like, we'll get up to here, and now let me go to my gray. This is Tamiya dark gray. And what I'm trying to do with this is bring some of this out. Brush that through. And we'll see. Jury's still out. Let's just brush it in. Not looking for exact full coverage because we want some of this tan to show through. But we're just trying to break up the monotony of the bright paint. Give a little bit of detail as well. Just getting this. And if you're paying attention and you looks like I'm on the floor, you're exactly right. I don't have anything large enough that would support this big of a piece of work. So definitely not my workbench. It's set up for much smaller trains. So let's blend some of that in there. Let's get some of this moved in. Some of this in there still. That looks okay. Alright. I think we need a bit more brown on this side. Actually, maybe not. It looks slightly different on the camera than it does in person, but you know, make it your own. So far I'm kind of liking the result. And then once we go ahead and get the grass and the ground cover and whatnot on there, it's gonna really hopefully start popping here. Yeah. Alright, now I'm curious to see what'll happen if we add just a little bit of black here and there. Just a little bit. I think we got the coloring okay. Just we'll catch it on the bottom sides here. Do some shadows, you know. And then blend it in a little bit. I'm using like a stippling motion here, just so that I can blend it but still keep my lines. Maybe a little bit more, just a dab. This black goes a really long way. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Just randomly put it in the little cracks and creases here so that it gets sucked in. And if you have too much, just blend it out. But you're still keeping the highlights in the spot, you know. Still keeping those highlights in the low spots. There we go. Let's take a little bit of glue and we'll start here. Let's see how this is going to kind of lay out. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out and then brush it, and then we'll sprinkle on some ground foam. I'm going to end up using the same brush I did for my painting while it's still wet. Alright, getting good coverage. Alright, we're almost getting there. This glue does tend to dry pretty quickly. Alright, so all I want to do is just do a little bit. So now we're going to move on to the next spot here. We'll get this going. Alright, let's go back with the grass. And all I'm doing is squeezing, gently squeezing the container so it puffs it out. Alright. Now, let's get my glue drench, and now we'll set it all up. Alright, we're good in there. Alright, let's go add a little bit more. Alright, now all right, that's looking okay. We're gonna need to do some talus and whatnot, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this, and we'll be right back with the next. All right, now what I want to do is add a bit of clump foliage here and there. Scatter it about. Just trying to give it some texture. Just trying to give it some texture here. Slightly different color. This way we got a little mix. It's not all one mundane color. Kind of nearing the end of what I'm looking for. The only other thing I want to do now is douse this down. Make sure we get a really good bond. Yes, I like glue. We don't have to soak it, but we do want to make sure that we get it wet to a point and there's a connection from the shrub to the turf below it. And you'll see it gets soaked in pretty quick. There we go. We'll have to wait for this to dry so that I could put it horizontal, because the second to last thing I want to do is on these little ledges is put some talus, some rocks and things like that, maybe some a little bit up here, which I could probably do now. Okay folks, mistakes were made. You're gonna see this before you see the installation of the brick retaining wall on our front section here. I started a little too early this morning. I was up since 6 a.m. and in fact the sun's just starting to come up now. And I forgot to turn on the microphone. So I'm going to explain a little bit of what I've done, and then from here you'll see the video. I'll probably put some music to it and I'll edit it. You know, you don't want to see the whole half hour or 25 minutes of hand waving and pointing and, you know. So basically here, let me get the finished piece now. So let me put it like this. So I started here. This is the seam. This is the seam for this front tunnel porthole. And it was pretty important that I get this straight edge is square to this, because we want minimal gap. Alright. I applied the hot glue and then I laid it in and I folded it all the way around. Now unfortunately, the foam didn't cut square when I trimmed it originally. So what I did is, once all this hot glue had dried at the top edge, I came back and filled in and reinforced the hot glue. And, well, I should say, it is still early in the morning. I reinforced this brick wall. So from this point, you'll start seeing the installation of the brick wall, and when we come back, we'll get into installing this piece. All right, be right back. Alright, now that you've seen how the brick retaining wall was installed, let's go and test fit. You know what? Let's just do it. Which way is this going to come out? Yesterday I had a malfunction. Which way is easier? Talk to me. Work with me. I gotta tell you, I built the whole layout and it didn't. Oh, did we just make another hole? Is this gonna work? What's going on here? All right. Excuse my armpit. Sure, that looks good. Alright, now we got a lot of stuff going on. So let's just easy, faster but slower, easy. Doing here. Alright, and then mush it down. Huh. The part that I thought I was going to struggle with the most just kind of plopped in. But I guess we're doing okay. Yep. Yep, I think that glue is already stuck. It's already got some grip there. All right, I'm gonna clamp this up, let this dry, and when we come back, I'll have a train or something running and we'll do a closeout. Well, that just about wraps it up for episode 4, part 4, episode 4. I don't know, haven't figured out which way to go with it. We got a lot of work done these last couple of days. We finished everything for the tunnel projects. That's all ready to get buttoned up. As you can see, I got the upper levels on, just kind of laying in here. So episode 5, or part 5, whichever way I decide to go with it, is gonna focus on getting these rocks taken care of here in this section here. We're gonna go ahead and kind of replicate what we have going on there in the front. We're gonna cut it back, and I'm gonna focus on this side because this catenary wire definitely needs to be supported. She's just kind of swinging out there in midair. So when we do that, we'll also do the filler panel for the vehicle tunnel and make that a hole. So this will be like a U-shaped rock wall right here, and it'll curve around into what we currently have. And I'm going to ask you guys for a couple of things. First off, I don't have a name for this layout. It no longer resembles anything like my intro, which means I'm probably going to have to do a different intro. I don't know, great, more work. But from what it was to where it's going, I think we've got a solid foothold on turning this Christmassy kind of toy train layout into more of a scale model reflection. So I'm very happy with the direction it's going. And again, I love all the comments. I love all the feedback. The thumbs up are great. And I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel. And I think this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I'm a little tired. It's probably around 8:30 in the morning, and I think I'm going to go back to bed. But anyways, this is where I leave you until I see you next time. It may take me about 2 weeks. I need a little recoup time. I do work a full-time job as well as have my hobby. So, you know, it's been a breakneck pace this last few months, and I think I just want to take a little bit of time for myself, and we'll see. I am kind of a workaholic, but we'll see. I want to see this progression as quick as possible. My hopes were originally to have the second level actually functioning, not scenic of course, but have all of my lower level detail taken care of, and have the road bed, the bridges installed, and the track laid, and have it hooked up to my other side of my transformer there, or DCC. I run both, but at least have 2 trains running by Christmas. But I need a I need a little break. So, again, thanks for everything. And if you like what you see here, again, please don't hesitate to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you do by chance hit the subscribe button, don't forget to hit the notification bell. This way you get notified of all the new updates and videos being released from Bits and Bob's Bag Shop. So I'm Bernie. Thank you so much for hanging with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.